Rachael Ray built her whole career on being real, open, quick, and easy to connect with. She's the one who made cooking feel less scary and more like something you can actually win at on a random Tuesday night. The smile, the energy, the "let's do this" vibe made her feel like a friend in the kitchen. But behind the bright persona and the empire she built, there's always been a deeper story. A long marriage that stayed mostly off camera, years of messy whispers that wouldn't die, and a relationship people can't stop debating. Rachael Ray was born on August 25, 1968, in Glens Falls, New York, to Elsa Provenza Ray and James Claude Ray. She grew up around food and restaurant life, and that kitchen rhythm teaches you one rule early: move fast or get swallowed. As a teen, she worked at Sutton's Marketplace in Queensbury doing whatever was needed: stocking, selling, learning what people actually buy, and how to talk to them like a human, not a salesman. That regular person skill later became her brand. After Lake George High School, she chased the big city grind. By the mid-1990s, she was in New York City working food retail and specialty market jobs, learning ingredients, pricing, and what sells. Eventually, she moved back upstate, and that detour became her turning point. In the Albany area, she started teaching short, practical cooking classes built around one idea: people are tired, hungry, and busy, so give them wins they can repeat. Those 30-minute meals classes caught local TV attention. Then cookbooks followed. Then, in the early 2000s, the Food Network made her a star. $40 a day and 30-minute meals didn't feel like chef culture. They felt like hanging out with someone who gets it. Within a few years, she was everywhere: TV, books, products, endorsements, the works. And right in the middle of that rise, her personal life shifted. In 2001, at a birthday party hosted by a mutual friend, she met John Cusimano. Their first conversation ran until around 4 a.m. Later, Rachael joked she initially assumed he was gay, and even thought about setting him up with a friend, which became an inside joke once he corrected her. From that night on, they talked every day. Rachael has said she'd basically written off marriage before meeting him, but he stuck. John's background was different in a way that fit. Born in 1967, he was into music, talented enough to get into Berkeley, but he chose law for stability and became an entertainment lawyer in New York. At the same time, he kept music alive and played in his band, The Cringe. That blend, creative on one side, contract smart on the other, ended up shaping their marriage. Rachael later joked that marrying an entertainment lawyer was the smartest thing she ever did because he understood deals, licensing, and the fine print that can wreck a career if you miss it. In September 2005, they married at Castello di Vellona, a Tuscan castle in Italy. Tuscany became their place. 10 years later, in 2015, they returned to the same castle to renew their vows, this time in front of around 100 loved ones. Rachael read a poem called "All the Whiskey in Heaven" and told John that under any circumstance she'd still choose him. Then followed it with the line people still quote, "She loved him more than all the whiskey in heaven." Romantic, dramatic, and very them. From the outside, it looked solid. Rachael's daytime talk show launched in 2006. Her brand kept expanding, and John stayed mostly out of the spotlight while helping behind the scenes. People who watched closely noticed how he became her quiet shield, not flashy, but always nearby when big business decisions were happening. Then fame did what it always does. It turned their marriage into content. For years, tabloids pushed cheating rumors about John, claims the couple has denied. Some stories went especially far, including allegations involving sex workers or a double life, the kind of headline that spreads even when it isn't backed by proof. Rachael addressed gossip publicly and warned that it hurts real people, family, friends, staff, because the internet treats it like entertainment, not a real home. In 2013, one of the loudest tabloid claims alleged John had been seen at a New York swingers club without Rachael. Their side reportedly dismissed it as another fabricated story, and chatter circulated that legal action was considered. But even when accusations are denied, the rumor machine keeps rolling, and suddenly strangers feel entitled to judge every photo, every smile, every "why is he standing like that" moment. What made the public story messier is that Rachael never pretended her relationship was calm. She's described their dynamic as passionate and sometimes loud. On her 2024 podcast, she said they've had arguments that can sound intense, and she framed it as two strong personalities who don't do quiet very well. Some fans hear that and think honest. Others hear it and think unstable. Either way, it kept people watching. At the same time, Rachael became a lightning rod in the food world. Her empire got bigger, and the bigger you get, the more critics line up. People mocked Evo, complained that 30 minutes doesn't include prep, and argued she wasn't a real chef in the traditional sense. Big names took shots, and she caught heat for moments where fans claimed she seemed exhausted or short once the cameras stopped. There were also headlines suggesting she didn't write her own cookbooks, which she pushed back on by saying she gets organizational help, but the recipes and ideas are hers. Fair or not, the constant criticism made her brand feel like a permanent debate. Through all of that, John wasn't just the husband. He became part of how the machine worked. He stepped away from practicing law full-time and went deeper behind the scenes: licensing, contracts, brand protection. He also leaned into a lighter role: cocktails. While Rachael cooked, John mixed drinks, and some of his recipes became part of the show's lifestyle vibe. Friends have described him as the guy who can talk business in one breath and talk guitar pedals in the next, which is exactly why he fit inside her world without trying to compete with it. Then real life hit them in ways gossip can't package. Rachael has talked about being mugged in New York in the 1990s. Her naturally raspy voice sparked scary rumors years ago, and she said she's dealt with throat issues since childhood, so even a small change can set off a wave of internet panic. Her Adirondack home famously burned in 2020, and Hurricane Ida brought more damage in 2021 after renovations. She also faced family grief that reportedly triggered painful conflict among relatives. Add business stress, public criticism, and the grind of nonstop work, and you've got pressure most couples never face. And in those moments, the pattern people noticed wasn't glamour. It was that John stayed. While tabloids recycled old talk, he was helping rebuild a home, handling the unglamorous logistics, and showing up when cameras weren't there. That doesn't make a marriage perfect. It just means they're still choosing it. In 2023, Rachael ended her daytime talk show after 17 seasons and shifted toward production work and new projects, including her podcast. Instead of polishing everything into a cute TV story, she talked more openly about stress and how her marriage actually functions. Online, that split opinions. Some saw strength, others saw cracks. John has still shown up publicly in small ways: birthday posts, affectionate captions, photos with their rescue dog, little reminders that they're still a unit even when the internet wants a breakup. These days they've been linked to splitting time between New York and Italy, keeping Tuscany as their sentimental anchor while Rachael keeps building. So what's the truth? The only solid facts are the ones they've actually lived in public. Almost 20 years together, a brand and life built side by side, and a long history of rumors they've denied while continuing to show up together. Everything else, especially the most scandalous claims, should be treated as what it is: unverified talk that sells headlines. What do you think you're really seeing with Rachel and John? A marriage that survived the noise, or a relationship that's been forced to perform stability under pressure? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit like if this story made you think. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories.